Ladies and gentlemen, the best defensive pair in the National Hockey League, Jacob Trouba and Olen Zellweger. That's right. That and more on this episode of Locked On Anaheim Ducks.
You're Locked On Ducks, your daily podcast on the Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome, everydayer. Thank you for making Locked On Anaheim Ducks your first listen every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, and just announced the best sports podcast network out there. That's right, Locked On. We're killing it. But today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. I'm Kyle Carr, lifelong Anaheim Ducks fan. I've spent multiple years covering collegiate sports, including college hockey, but here every day on Locked On Ducks, we're talking about the Anaheim Ducks, and there's been a lot to talk about with this team right now. The Ducks are getting ready to take on the Golden Knights, preparing for their first back-to-back of the season. We'll get into that later, as well as talking about the wonderful comeback win over the Dallas Stars that happened on Thursday night. But first, we're going to get into how Jacob Trouba and Olen Zellweger are the best defensive pair, not only on the Anaheim Ducks, but in the entire league right now. They are killing it. This pairing is on top of their game. They were paired together last year, kind of looked a little tough, but now this year together, they are phenomenal. They are my favorite pairing to watch out there. And be it to all the dismay of the New York Ranger fans out there, Jacob Trouba and Chris Kreider are just on fire right now. But Trouba, not only is he playing extremely well for the Ducks offensively, defensively, but he's been playing disciplined. He finally gets his first penalty called on him this season against the Stars, and it was only a hooking penalty. Nothing crazy, no massive hits. He's playing such a smart heads up game that I don't think we've seen out of Trouba in a while. So just to look at why Olen Zellweger and Jacob Trouba are the best pairing out there right now. Well, Zellweger finally gets his first goal of the season against Dallas. Finally cracks through a beautiful 3-on-2 that broke down. Dallas broke down, and it was kind of a pass that I don't think was intended for him, but it gets through, and he's that third man rushing the lane and gets basically an empty net against Jake Ottinger. So beautiful goal for Olen Zellweger. But he's been joining the rush. He has been activated with this forward group. Like when he's in the offensive zone, he's not afraid to get down and engage down low. He's getting shots through. He's been shooting a lot quicker. That's something that was mentioned that he has been working on with Coach Quenneville, is to get shots off quicker rather than kind of catching it, trying to make some plays that way. It's just catch that thing and get it off your stick quick towards the net. And it's been helping. It's been paying off. He's been getting some pretty good shots through, not really ending up on the assist of things, but he's causing chaos down low, and he's not afraid to use the body either. Right now, Olen Zellweger's got 3 points, but then if you're looking at Jacob Trouba, his defensive pair partner, Trouba has 3 goals and 5 assists with a total of 8 points, playing extremely well for the Ducks offensively. And then is he also playing defensively sound? Absolutely. Trouba is plus 13. And like I said, finally draws his first penalty. He has been extremely disciplined for this team, not taking crazy plays or, making those obnoxious Trouba train type hits that are putting players in danger and causing major penalties and stuff like that. But he is also making hits. He has not slowed down his physicality at all. Trouba leads the team with 37 hits. 37 hits. All right. He's out there wrecking people, not afraid to throw the body. And then to look at Zellweger, his score when it comes to the defensive end, he's at a +9. So when he's out there, not a lot, the two of them together, not a lot of scoring is happening for the opponents, but there is a lot of goals going in for the Ducks when these two are on the ice. Zellweger has taken 4 penalties. He's got 8 penalty minutes. So unfortunate there on the discipline, but it hasn't been anything too crazy. Mostly some hooks here, maybe a trip, just playing extra hard and stuff like that ends up happening. Zellweger could possibly step up his hits. He doesn't have too many hits recorded right now, but the way that he plays, he doesn't really need it. He's just such a quick heads up guy. He's usually taking off lanes and more just getting into those corners where it's not really registering a hit, but he's not getting bodied off. He's right there using that stocky body that he has. An absolute pit bull out there. Trouba leads the team right now with 26 blocked shots. Zellweger is in third with 15. In between them, you guessed it, Jackson Lacombe with 25. And Zellweger is tied for 4th in shots taken, tied with Chris Kreider. So for him to finally crack through is a surprise, but he is taking shots like crazy. He is trying to put those pucks through. He's trying to get things going. I think this guy has been cursed by the corner goalpost a couple of times here. He's been hitting pipes a bunch, especially at the beginning of the season. It was like every game he was hitting pipes left and right. And Trouba right now has the second most ice time on the team with 21 minutes, 59 seconds. Of course, Jackson Lacombe is in first in that segment. And then Zellweger has 4th highest ice time with 18 minutes and 44 seconds. And in between Trouba and Zellweger is Drew Hellison. So Lacombe and Hellison, yes, they are taking up the minutes. They are the official first pairing of the team. But in regards to offensive production, defensive production, or defensive shutdowningness, not allowing the opponent to have offensive production, the Trouba and Zellweger pairing is by far the standout pair on this team. You're not really wincing scared that there's going to be a goal while they're out there. You kind of have this sense of confidence that they're going to be blocking shots or they're going to get that puck out and they're going to get engaged with the offense. Against the Panthers, I believe it was the Panther, or maybe it was the Devils game. They're all blending together. They've been having so many high end scoring games and just dominating the teams that they're playing. But there was a chance where a shot was made and it looked like it was going to be an empty net with Dostal out of position, but Trouba right there just boots it with his foot, not afraid to get in the lanes. They're playing extremely well. Zellweger, when they were playing against the Panthers, was getting under the skin of Lundell. He had Lundell up his you-know-what all game, just trying to cause ruckus. He's drawing penalties from that. They're not afraid to step down, and they're not afraid to get in there and cause you to feel flustered if you're the opponent against these two. So Trouba, Olen Zellweger, again, the best pairing on the Anaheim Ducks right now. And I would put money on that these guys are the best pairing in the league at this time. They are generating offense. They are playing sound defense, and they're having a lot of fun out there. And it's exciting to see. Having these guys there on the team is great. And they were a big part of the win over Dallas, which was another massive, not really blowout because they did give up a few points, but it was a massive scoring show for the Anaheim Ducks. So we'll get into that right after this. Let's be real. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress. I'm tired, or it happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support. And that's where Rujit comes in. Rigid.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rigid makes it easy to get started. You just connect with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, no awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments, and if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly straight to your door. Visit rugiet.com/lockedonnhl to get 15% off your first order. That's rugiet.com/lockedonnhl. And don't forget to use your code lockedonnhl so they know we sent you. Rigid, stop making excuses and start making moves. So the Ducks pot another touchdown and an extra point. Shout out to Annie OD for clarifying that. A touchdown is 6, an extra point makes it 7. But Ducks were a bit helter skelter in the first period of this game. It was kind of a lackluster performance by Anaheim in that first period, giving up 2 goals. Granted, they were power play goals, but they just seemed to be giving up too many breakaway chances, too many power plays, taking penalties. It was just a tough look in that first period, but then they come out quick in the second and end up redeeming themselves with a Chris Kreider power play goal to get the Ducks started, and then they get another one to make it a 2-2 game. But unfortunately, they do give up another breakaway to the Dallas Stars, which ends up in the back of the net. Dostal beat on that glove side. Just a great placement by, I believe it was Tyler Seguin that had that breakaway there. It's hard to complain about, winning 7-5 over the Dallas Stars when they were down 2-0. They have a comeback win. It was fun to watch, but I have to be real. There are some things that needed some tightening. They were giving up way too many breakaways. They got worked in that face-off dot during the game. They only won 40.7% of the face-offs. So the Dallas Stars were just owning them in that faceoff dot, which kind of led to the first lead of the game where they were not having possession of the puck at all after those faceoffs. And then when you're on the penalty kill as well, that does not help because you're just giving them time to set up right away in that playoff or in the power play. The Ducks did score 2 out of 5 power plays, adding to their playoff or their why do I keep saying playoff? Their power play percentage, but gave up 3 out of 5 to Dallas. So penalty kill looking a little tough. Ian Moore finally gets his first NHL goal, a bright spot for the game. And that was the goal that made it a 2-2 game. Beautiful rush by Ryan Pelling, bringing down the speed. And Ian Moore right there joins him. And right there for a nice little tap in 5-hole. Beautiful, beautiful play by the Anaheim Ducks. They were playing with speed and they had that transition as that's where most of the Ducks scoring has been coming from. But they also got some power play goals. So love to see this team work so quick and so fast and utilize this transition game that they are known for. And they're not afraid to bring the pain and kind of trade chances for chances. It seems like they do know that they're going to capitalize more. A little worrisome with how lackluster they did play. They need to tighten down when they're going to be going against teams like Vegas and Winnipeg, which we'll get into later. But in this game, seeing Ian Moore get his first, that's a great one. The dude was full of smiles, but then also Olen Zellweger, like I mentioned before, he gets his first of the season after having tons of chances this year. I mean, he's up there 4th place in shots per game. So he's out there trying to get goals and trying to help this team score and playing defense, but he finally cracks through. Good to see. Cutter Gauthier, he continues to be hot, scoring his 11th goal. He is currently in the lead in the league, tied with Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby, the man, Sid the Kid, and Cutter Gauthier now leading this league. That's absurd. second season, second season, and he is tied with Sidney Crosby right now, leading the league in goals. Just it's like whatever this kid does, it finds the way in the back of the net. You got Alex Killorn racking up some points in this game, doubling his point count, going from 2 to 4. Love to see him finally kind of getting engaged. Something that I noticed with this game, Quenneville not afraid to not really punish the kids, but he made a statement last night. Quenneville mixes up the lines, putting Killorn up with McTavish and Cutter Gauthier after Beckett Seneca kind of gives up a tough giveaway to lead to that third goal. He should have got the puck in deep, kind of tried to get a little fancy with it, turns into a turnover, which led to the breakaway, which leads to the Stars getting that lead again in the second. But what I noticed as well, Quenneville later in the game, finally he puts Seneca back. Seneca doesn't pout, doesn't falter. He plays well with the fourth line. He gets engaged. He's got the highest takeaways on the team right now. So he's playing well out there, but he earns it back, finally puts Seneca back up there. And he does end up getting the empty net with McTavish. So he's part of that play. So it's good to see like Quenneville, makes a statement, but he's not sitting there overly punishing the kid and making it personal. He's still playing him, and he allows him to earn his spot back, and he gives him that second line minutes back towards the end of the game. But you see Killorn get engaged, which is good. Leo Carlson, he gets another shorthanded goal. So these guys are just working hard. They're playing solid games. They have a comeback win. Yeah, they gave up 5 as well, but they took over. They honestly took that game over. They settled themselves in, and they just kept utilizing their style of hockey, playing extremely well. And then not only do they have 7 goals in this game, but they had 7 against Florida. So that's now 2 games where they have scored 14 goals in total. They're on a 5-game winning streak. You had Troy Terry get his 300th point against Florida. I know you had the Cutter Gauthier first career hat trick, but also Troy Terry reaching a milestone of 300 points. You've got Leo Carlson, Troy Terry, and Cutter Gauthier breaking Teemu Selanne and Paul Kariya records with the fastest, I think, getting the most points in 13 games. It was like 17 points and 13 games was the fastest amount of points that Teemu Selanne had at that point. And now you've got 3 of the players breaking that record. There's just franchise record after franchise record being beat right now. They're in the top of the Pacific with a pretty decent margin of wins. It's just you got teams like Colorado racking up all those OT loss points. So we have more wins than Colorado, but Colorado has 5 overtime losses and has played more games than us. So it just, if we go out and beat Vegas and Winnipeg, the Ducks are jumping to the top of the league in wins. Like they will take that top position in just a weekend in the entire league if they come out with 2 victories. And a big challenge is coming up for these boys because this is their first back-to-back of the season, and it's against Vegas and the Winnipeg Jets. We're going to get into the Vegas game right after this and kind of talk about Winnipeg, but we'll get into that coming up next. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team's making that late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now, the Ducks are headed to Vegas on Saturday for their first back-to-back of the season. So this will be the first game of that back-to-back. They do take on the Jets at home on Sunday. So this is honestly their toughest test yet. Two very good teams that have good showings in Winnipeg's great on the road. Vegas is great at home. So this is going to be a challenge for Anaheim. Vegas right now, they are currently 13 games played with 7 wins, 3 losses, and 3 OT losses for 17 points. They are 11th in the league, and the Ducks are currently 5th. Vegas has 43 goals for, 37 goals against, so they have a +6 goal differential. The Ducks have 54 goals for, 42 goals against, so they are +12, but a lot more goals scored against Anaheim. Ducks are 3rd in the league with that goal differential, though. Vegas is 8th in the power play. They have a 23.4% success rate on the power play. The Ducks are in 11th with 22.2, so not too far off from each other there. Vegas, this is probably the biggest gap, but still not the best. They're 17th in PK with a 77.8% success rate on the penalty kill. Ducks are 22nd with 75% success on the penalty kill. Last night against Dallas did not help that percentage whatsoever. Vegas is 13th in shots per game with 28.77. The Ducks are in 4th with 30.92. So Ducks getting more shots per game in Vegas. We'll talk about it here in a little bit, but the shot percentage is a little different, though, on how many shots are actually going in the net. Vegas, 27th in shots against with 25.62. So that means there are only 4 teams giving up less shots than them. So this is a good stat for Vegas, 27th in shots against with 25.62. The Ducks, however, they are in 10th. So they are giving up quite a lot of shots with 29.77. So they got to lock that down. The zone defense seems to really allow shots through. That they kind of got exposed against Dallas with that. They're letting guys kind of just be and not tying dudes up down low and just leaving people up in the high slot. Something I'm sure that Quenneville's already working on. This whole coaching staff is so smart. You got Gilly with the power play and the penalty kill. He's been phenomenal with helping these guys get their special teams under control. Jay Woodcroft as well. Stellar coaching going on out here in Anaheim. But looking back at Vegas, Jack Eichel leads that team with 21 points. Leo is leading the Ducks. That's Leo Carlson with 20 points. Mitch Marner comes in second with 17. Our second place is Cutter Gauthier with 18. Their third place is Ivan Barbashev with 14. And the Ducks is Troy Terry with 17. Pavel Dorofeev is their leader in goals. He has 9, but only has 1 assist. And we all know who leads the Ducks. That's Cutter Gauthier with 11, and he has 7 assists. So spreading out the offense on that second line, which ironically, a lot of his assists that he's received are from Leo Carlson. They're not on the same line, but there's just that transition when Troy goes off and Cutter comes on. It's like right when Leo's stealing the puck. It just works out. But and then in the power play as well. Vegas has had 3 goalies play this year. Unfortunate for them. So leading them right now, at least in percentage, is Akira Schmid. 7 games played. He's started 5 of them. So that means he's come in to relieve 2 games. He has 6 wins, 1 loss. He has 163 shots against. with 148 saves at a .908 save percentage, 15 goals against, and 2.31 goals against average. Adin Hill kind of having a struggle this year. 5 games played, 1 win, 0 losses, and 2 overtime losses. If you're asking how does that math, it doesn't. Well, that's because he's had to get relieved by Akira Schmid for a couple games there. And then Carl Lindbaum. Oh, and then Adin Hill, sorry, getting back to him. 888 save percentage for Adin Hill. Not looking too fantastic. And then Carl Lindbaum, 3 games played, 2 losses, 1 overtime loss, 873 save percentage, and 3.36 goals against average. But then looking at the Ducks, we got Dostal, 7-3-1 with a 904 save percentage, 2.81 goals against average. And Mrazek still hasn't played since his last game, 2-0 with 831 save percentage and 5.52 goals against. Numbers I don't think you would really see with someone who is 2-0. However, with that being said, this is the Ducks' first back-to-back. They have Vegas Saturday and then Winnipeg Jets at home. So someone has to face Peter Mrazek. Either Vegas has to play Peter Mrazek or the Winnipeg Jets plays Peter Mrazek, or I should say the Ducks have to play Peter Mrazek either against the Vegas Golden Knights or the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg, they're only averaging 26.77 shots per game. However, they have the 6th best shot percentage, meaning they are scoring when they shoot. They put the puck in the back of the net when they put shots on goal. Vegas is in 11th with their shot percentage. So Winnipeg, a more accurate shot, just not getting as many off. Whereas, because look, Winnipeg, 26.77 shots per game. Vegas has been having, Vegas has 28.77. They're 13th in shots per game with 28.77. Winnipeg only 26.77. So almost 2 shots more for Vegas. Actually, exactly 2 shots more for Vegas than Winnipeg. However, Winnipeg has a much higher shot percentage. They're getting much more shots through to the back of the net than Vegas is. So they're a little more accurate. So I'm thinking Dostal goes against Winnipeg and Peter Mrazek goes against Vegas because the Ducks are 3rd in their shot percentage with 13.4% of their shots going in. So the Ducks have the advantage on both of these teams with the more accuracy. I think they can play a strong game against Vegas if Mrazek is in net. They have to know that they got to score, and they're going to have to be putting guys in front of whoever takes the net for Vegas and support Peter Mrazek as much as possible. This team is a lot different looking than the last time Peter Mrazek played. So I think they have a good chance of having a win and having success with Mrazek in net against Vegas, and then having Dostal at home against the Winnipeg Jets. And I see a successful weekend coming out of this for Anaheim. I would be happy with getting 3 out of the 6 points. However, both of these teams are finally in the Western Conference. So Vegas, a little bit more of an important win, where if we get a win and we get 2 points, no OT, that's 4-point jump on Vegas, who's in our division. However, Winnipeg is in the conference, so if they can get a point against Winnipeg, it's not quite as much as a 4-point difference, but it does help if, for whatever reason, that wild card race comes down to a team in the Central. So a little gamemanship here for Joel Quenneville coming up on who to put in net against either Vegas or Winnipeg. But I expect a good game out of these Ducks. And like I said, coming out of this weekend with 3 out of the 6 points, I would be, 3 out of 4 points, not 6, because that would be 2 games, or 3 games. I mean, 3 out of the 4 points. So a win and an OT loss, I would be happy with that. If they can come out with all 4 points, that would be exciting as well and put the Ducks in a very good position. So excited for a good weekend. Brace yourselves, though. Expect a roller coaster of emotions. And a big shout out to the Guardians, the team that I play for out here in Orange County, and also the San Diego team. They are out in Vegas right now playing in a veterans tournament with the likes of the Patriots. Adam Broll, who is a guest here, he's out there with the Patriots. We've got my captain, Derek Lockwood, and we've got, oh my gosh, Blake. He's out there. We've got a lot of our players and our goalie, Rich. All the guys, they're having fun. Looks like they're doing pretty good, winning their first 2 games. So exciting stuff for them. Hope they get to go see the Ducks in Vegas and bring that good luck with them. But as always, thank you for making Locked On Anaheim Ducks your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On NHL Game Night. Every game, every night until a Stanley Cup champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. As always, go like and subscribe to the Locked On Ducks YouTube and get involved on social media, LO_Ducks, or just looked up Locked On Anaheim Ducks, wherever you use social media. And as always, I'm Kyle Carr. And as always, I keep saying as I'm always, but I'm Kyle Carr. Be good out there.